Yeah, I mean, we'll see. We'll see what's going to happen. Last but not least, Stephen A. Smith went on Vinnie yesterday. Posted a clip. Rob, he just posted he posted a short clip of it as well. If you just go on YouTube, he posted a short clip of the clip. Like, you just go to his channel right there where you are. Just go to his channel, and right there, my response. So this is towards Vinnie. Vinnie, brace for impact. And it even plays your clip of what you say.
Okay.
Let's hear this. Go for it, Rob.
Now let me spend the rest of my time getting into the Patrick Bet David, folks, all right? This is before we get to your tweets. I want to address some sound that I heard from the Patrick Bet David podcast regarding yours truly and my chances as a potential presidential candidate. Listen to this, please.
I like Stephen A. I like the sports talk, and he's a great freaking. He's the best in the game.
You're not with it. You're not.
I'm not
just
buying,
because he didn't vote for Trump and support him?
Not vote. No, it's the flip flop of every single person.
You're calling Stephen A. a flip flopper.
Every single one of these guys that were on the left, every guys go now, from the Chanks to the Stephen A's to the Chris Cuomo's to all these people. I'm not buying it at all, okay? And you say this all the time, it's the market. What does the market want? They're shifting because of the market. Listen, with all due respect, I'm not buying none of that shit from none of them, okay? Because they were still on Kamala, They were still on Biden, They're still on that anti-American bullshit sentiment. Because if you want to put in people like Biden and you want to put in people like if you voted for Kamala Harris,
which he did,
what the hell do you even stand on? What was your thing? Just not Trump. So it just shifted. All that Trump hating, he's the worst, he's Hitler. I'm not saying Steven said this, but all of them were anti-Trump. We've been saying Trump is this guy since when? Since 2016. We've had this guy's back. And it's not just blind loyalty, Tom. It wasn't that. It was the proof in the pudding. He came in with Russia collusion, Obama and all these guys freaking spying on him. He had all this shit. He had COVID. He had all this stuff, a Russian asset, all that bullshit Putin talk. Sorry. All right? And then now he's back.
Robert,
everybody voted for him. And they're
guys, have I said anything wrong?
Watch this. Go ahead.
Respectfully, specifically on this particular topic, I don't give a shit what you give a shit about.
Snap.
I'm going to say it twice so we know that I wasn't stuttering. I don't give a shit what you give a shit about as it pertains to this particular subject. Because the one here that is at least somewhat wrong, but clearly devoid of empathy or compassion or understanding is you.
In other news, Florida residents are going to be happy to hear this.
I don't have the
we have to watch a commercial.
Sorry. You don't have the what?
Now, before I get any further,
that was a nice little promo for Miami.
I love Vinnie. I do.
Yeah.
As I do Adam, as I do Tom, as I do Patrick Bet Davis. And in the interest of full disclosure, before I get any further, I got a lot of love for them and their podcasts. But I got a lot of love on a personal level for a guy by the name of Patrick Bet David, the leader of that crew, who's become a great friend and somebody that has helped me, and I'll put it out on Front Street. He was one of the people that I was receiving advice from when I was negotiating a couple of my contracts.
That's awesome.
So I have a personal affinity and affection for that man, and Adam too. And Adam, I got love for Adam too. That's my brother.
It's a different
Vinnie.
We go out in these streets.
This is directed to you. Could you calm down, please?
You saying to Vinnie?
Yeah.
Because you act like we had to have voted against Trump for the specific reasons that you're articulating.
Good word.
The border is a primary issue with you. We understand that. So how could anybody possibly vote for Kamala Harris? Well, what if their issue wasn't the border? What if their issue was avoiding chaos? What if their issue was not wanting a president in office that was willing to pad his own wallets and his own coffers while being the statesman that sits in the presidency of the United States of America? What if the priority wasn't safety in the streets? What if the priority was that they were for woke culture? There's a bevy of reasons Why are you acting like everybody has to be a monolith, like they have to be of one set of thinking and of one mind in order to vote this way? I watched the whole episode with you and Patrick Bet-David and Adam and Tom. Patrick Bet-David, PBD, the man himself, asked you specifically, all three of them, what was your top 2 priorities for the election? Each of y'all gave a different answer.
That's right.
You talked about the economy. PBD talked about woke culture. Tom talked about safety in the streets. I'm sorry, the producer, behind the scenes. Talked about safety in the streets. Adam talked about the borders. And I forgot what else. And I'm sorry if I forgot the other part about you, Vinnie. But the point is, all of y'all had different reasons. It's America. You're going to have different beliefs. So what? Now let's get to me. Because I'm who you were talking about, that you lumped in with other people, even though I do appreciate you pointing out that I didn't say those incendiary things about President Trump. I appreciate that, seriously. And I got nothing but love for you. We just disagreeing on this particular issue. I'm not monolithic in my thinking. We live in a binary system. There's shit I didn't like about both of them. I have always been against woke culture. I have always been against open borders. I'm totally aligned with Patrick Bet-David on the issue of woke culture and parental influence or lack thereof that the administration and the left were trying to impose upon the will of the American people. How dare them? They were wrong.
Rob, you can pause at this point.
Okay.
Vinny,
So
by the way, he's on fire.
I love it. Right. And he's the one that said, calm down to me.
Yeah.
He said, calm down. He's about to have a heart attack.
Yeah. You're calm down now, boy.
Are you ready for this? And again, Steven, I love you too, bro. And again, when I see you hug, it's all good. But you were against all that. You were against that. You were against the border. You're against the woke culture. But where were you at for the 4 years? I'm just very curious. I'm hoping you could articulate. Where were you for those 4 years? You were just on the sideline. You weren't saying anything. You said on this show that you would rather have a president with dementia than Trump. Think about what that says. And now we're seeing everything that happened with all the policies and everything with him. And it's fine. We all have different opinions. We all see different things. But my question is, where were all these people at? You, Cuomo, everybody. Now it's cool to talk positive about Trump. Everybody loves Trump. You've called Trump a racist, a sexist, multiple times on air. You said Trump being president would be dangerous and would put Americans at risk. Have you apologized for all those things that you said? For making all these people worried that Trump was going to be this guy? Like, and then
Wait,
you
does
also,
a voter have to apologize? Does a voter, hang on, he said some people didn't want chaos, and it sounded like Stephen A. was talking about that was his issue.
But people
didn't want chaos.
Yeah, but
or didn't
Stephen
want,
A.
what's the
is more
definition?
than a voter, Tom.
but
He's
hang
a
on.
Go ahead,
voter with a
go
massive
ahead.
megaphone.
Well, guess what? We all are, many of us are, right?
Not many. A few of us are.
Well, there's an awful lot of people that are in the pod space where that the megaphones and the influence is a hell of a lot bigger than mainstream media. And thank God we have the freedom of speech that for that ecosystem to have grown up.
True, but there's only a
does
few of
Stephen
us.
A. have to apologize for saying I didn't want chaos
No.
or I was objectively reacting to this? I don't think he does.
Well, here's my thing, though. Well, okay, Tom, here's my thing. Kamala Harris wins the presidency, or even Biden wins, and now they do the old switcheroo. Is Stephen A. and all these people going to be pointing out all the stuff that they're pointing out now about their party?
He talked about woke and he said they were wrong. Isn't there a small bridge to say when you wake up afterwards and you say, I was wrong about that?
No, 100%, Tom. But what I'm saying,
a lot of people say that. I've said that.
But here's my question too, and answer me. I want an honest question. If Kamala Harris is the president right now, is Stephen A. Smith saying any of this stuff that he's saying now? Is he saying anything, or is he staying quiet like he did for 4 years?
What do you mean saying stuff?
About everything. About what do you mean? About the border? About woke? About everything? Because
he's been pretty clear about woke. Let's be honest.
When did it happen? When did it happen?
He's got a daughter that's in school. He's talked about a parent. We were all at dinner, and he and I talked about that.
Yeah, but I'm saying.
Do you remember when he was on The View and he talked about the mandate and the one girl, Joy Behar, was like, wow, it's not even close. He goes, listen up. Listen up, woman.
Yeah, but when was
And
this?
hear me
when
out.
was this? Well, I'm
This
saying,
is
was it
after the election.
Trump won. That's my
Yes,
point.
But yes,
Trump already
but
won.
yeah, that's like
To be fair,
yeah. So it's like, all right, you had a prediction of who was going to win the game. Okay, he's betting on the Knicks. Turns out that Oklahoma City won. All right, my bad. I bet on the Knicks. But let me explain why Oklahoma City won. All he had to do was look at it and say, listen, I understand why Trump won. Everyone has different reasons. He went down the different reasons that we all
Totally
had.
fine.
Different strokes for different folks. But recognize the fact that he recognized of why Trump won. He recognized there was a mandate.
Okay.
He recognized that every single basically district flipped Republican. He recognized the fact that Trump won every single swing state. He recognized that, yeah, my bad, I called it wrong. So here's my mea culpa.
Yeah.
And, let me apologize for this. It's not like he's doubling down.
No, of course
Would it
not.
not be worse if he was doubling down, basically saying, Trump sucks, why is he in office? I actually got to give him respect to say, you know what? Maybe I was wrong for voting for Kamala. Here's what the American people want. Here's what the American people want to see. They do want to see an end to woke culture. They do want to see.
Where was it?
They want to
Adam,
see.
but where was? Because the guess
Well,
what?
you're
The
asking
left
where
has been
was it
doing
before? He wasn't there yet. Give somebody the humility and the grace and
But
the
do you
respect
think
to evolve.
Do you think that's totally fine? And I do. Adam, please come to the other side. You're finally
but
awake.
You're calling him out.
I'm calling
for what he did in the
No,
past.
no,
What
I'm not
about what he's
calling
doing
him
now?
out. No, I'm just curious, Adam. The border was wide open. Okay,
That was my number one issue.
Women were children were getting raped and getting freaking murdered and thrown in ditches. Just like
It's not like he was approving of that.
COVID, lockdowns, everything. I'm just curious because we were talking about it. Where were all these people at when it was really a problem? What I'm saying is, once Trump wins, everybody changed their tunes. I'm not lying, Steven.
Would you rather them not
hold
change
on.
their tune?
Was what I said a lie? That all these guys switched and now they started becoming vocal about it. So you're pretending like they were dumb and they didn't know the border was open? They didn't know all the woke shit? Hold on. They didn't know. Adam, you make it as if Trump won and everybody went, oh, the border. It's open. People, that's bullshit. That's a weak-ass argument.
Because you're making up actually a very good point.
Thank you.
And this is why I very, very much encourage people to get their news from different sources and different outlets. Because if you're only getting your media from left, MSNBC, CNN, you literally have a completely different distorted reality than people who are watching anyone from Fox News or reading Breitbart. For years, because I was watching, for the most part, CNN, I had no idea that they had gone off the Richter scale. I just didn't, because they were basically fair and balanced under Ted Turner. I was like, yeah.
And it's official. They're for sale and they're going to be spun out, by the way.
Trump's a Russian asset. And anybody with just a logical brain be like, oh my God, look at all this evidence here. Turns out the media was freaking lying the whole freaking time.
Yeah.
But you didn't know this. Mm-hmm. So this is why I encourage to get a diverse opinion of views. This is why people respect our show so much, because we'll battle it out. What is one of our four major pillars? Debate. This is where you find the truth. You're not going to see this on Stephen A. Smith arguing with someone like this on a typical network.
No.
Now they get Scott Jennings on CNN. Thank goodness.
That's the only
to basically own CNN. But a lot of people get their media outlet from one source, and they just live in their echo chambers. And by the way, it's true on both sides. It's true on both sides. So you're asking, well, why did they know about this? It's because people on the left are basically saying, no, we need the open borders. We have to have all the newcomers come into the country. And they're fed a crock of lies. Exactly. So I understand why people have this distorted sense of reality, and it's the same on both sides.
Yeah.
PBD, I feel like you want to.
I love this. To me, you just heard it from 3 of the 10 different people in America. That's what you just heard. There's a faction of people that are fully with Vinnie, okay? Mm-hmm. There are a lot of people that became you. I have clips of you from 4 years ago. You're never going to make me vote for Trump. You are never going to make me vote for Trump, okay? Guess what? You may be the biggest, you may be now, and I know you are, but this guy may be in a very different way, a bigger supporter than you are. Let me tell you, because to him, the way you are with Epstein and 9/11, all this stuff, he's not there. Mm-hmm. So to him, he's more like, no, I like the way he's getting the job done. Adam may be a bigger Trump supporter than you today, as weird as it sounds. I know that's going to sound weird to you. Yeah. He may be a bigger supporter today. So where am I going with this? And then there's Stephen A., where Stephen A. is the most famous person in sports broadcasting. There's nobody more famous than
hands
him.
down.
That is what he's done. So
Yep.
in his space,
The best.
he's the best of the best, right?
Yep.
So for him to be a mainstream guy, still working in mainstream, he's not a mainstream guy that's left and started his own podcast and is not tied to me. He is in mainstream prior to getting his big check, is being this vocal about politics, and the contract isn't signed.
Yeah.
Vinny, let me tell you, I've been there when I started PBD Podcast and a contract and a company wasn't sold, and I'm talking politics. Everyone told me on the money side, don't do it.
Mm-hmm.
It could cost you a lot of money. And he did that before getting the bag? I don't know. That's tough for him to do that. And then now where he's saying what he's saying, I'm actually okay with it. The only thing I tell him is the fact that when he runs, if he chooses to run as a Democrat, they will all be friends with him until they realize they can't control him. They will destroy him. They will try to destroy every aspect of his life. And then eventually he's going to say, I'm going to go to the other side. But then you come to the other side, then you're going to get a job versus actually running. When you run from the beginning and saying, after everything I thought about, these two areas, I agree with Democrats. I am black. As a black man who was raised by a strong mother, these are my values and principles that I'm not compromising. And when it comes down to this, I relate to Democrats on this. But on these 7 issues, I just relate more to independents and as a Republican. And I'm a center-right guy. So I'm at a point right now that I can't see myself running as a person on the left. I see myself running as a center-right. The other day, some story came out saying, I don't know, if you go on his Instagram account, he posted something. There's a free agency position available right now on the left. You know what that position is? Guess what job everybody wants?
On the left.
On the left. There's one job that's available. You know what that job is? Go to the top, Rob.
Is it Joe
Chairman of the
Rogan on the
That's the
left?
Joe Rogan. That's it.
Oh, wow.
Stephen A. Smith is running to be Joe Rogan. Okay? So is he going to be the Joe Rogan on the left? They
Could
won't
be.
let you. They won't let you. Because it's, in order to be the Joe Rogan of the left, you have to be willing to entertain opposing ideas. You know, you got to have Crockett come in. You got to have those people come in. You got to have these people come and want to talk to you.
He'll do it.
He invited her.
Yeah.
He actually already invited her. But she's got to do it. And, you know, other people got to do it. You know, Biden's got to come on. Kamala's got to come on. Joe, go get Kamala on. I mean, what do you call it? Stephen A., get Kamala on. Invite Kamala on the podcast. Let's see if she'll do it. So the only thing I'm saying to him is while he goes through this next phase, he is, out of the 10 values in his life, my opinion, out of the 10 values in his life, I think 7 of them lean more towards independent and conservative. Only 3 are Democratic. And the 3 that are Democratic are from the era of John F. Kennedy, not the era of today.
Good point.
It's a very different place. But I think he's a very necessary voice. And Vinny, I love the fact that you're still saying what you're saying as well. I love it. Because I still think there's a portion of America that's there. I just think we have to realize this is a good guy.
I agree.
That is doing good things. So are you. There's a difference. And, you know, him and I were talking. I'm like, Vinny's a comedian. He's a big boy. Say whatever you want. You know, you just say, it's open game.
He
You know,
spelled
there's
Vinny wrong. Did you see that, Rob? Go
so
to Vinny. He spelled it I-N-N-Y. Come on, Stephen.
First of all, who the hell is going to know to spell Vinny as V-I-N-N-I-E?
I know,
That
but
only a few people
Spelled
spell
your
it like
name
that.
right. By
But
the
I
way,
get it.
PBD,
He's
you
not
got
the first podcaster.
Let me
to
show
have
the last
staff
clip
made
before
you-
we wrap
You
up.
did get a
Come
great
on.
shout out from him. I don't want to gloss that over. He gave us all very nice shout outs.
The team.
But then he said, listen, one of the guys who was instrumental in me negotiating my contract, $100 million. I mean, he kind of gave you respect, people.
Big
You
time.
A
got
lot of good conversations, but this
Yeah.
is a good guy. I'm a
respect to
big,
you, Stephen A. Smith.
I'm a believer of him. And I've been for a long, long time, since nobody had a clue who I was, and I was selling small little term insurance policies back in 2002.
listen to
I've been a
Stephen A.
fan of this guy. We got a special merch drop today with these 4 states. If you want to play this clip, we have officially 4 hats, each representing Florida, California, Texas, and New York. What's wild about these 4 states is I lived in California for 24 years, longest I ever lived in a state. I lived in Texas for 5 years. I've been in Florida for 4 years. And we own the minority owners of New York Yankees. So there is something going on with each of these 4 states. And it happens to be the top 4 states that we have here. These hats will go like this, okay? Because they're limited. We don't have a big supply of them. But the Florida one is going to sell out in minutes like it always does. Why? Because it is numbered 1 out of 250, and when you order those, they come in this box, the Valuetainment Future Looks Bright box with the hat inside of it. Florida's is going to have the red back lid, which is not lid. What do you call this thing here,
That's
Vinny?
their flag.
What do you call this, Vinny? Here, this is
snapback.
The snapback. And then you have Florida's flag here with Florida's map on the side. And then you got same thing with Texas, with New York, with California. So here's what we're going to be doing. 2 things. You got the shirt, sweaters, and the hats. Limited supply. Anybody that places the order, the first 100 are going to get a Future Looks Bright keychain, or you see the keychain right there. Whether you order 1 hat, 2 hats, or whatever you order, you're going to get those right there. However, I want to show you something crazy I sent to Chris this morning. Rob, go to eBay. Go to eBay. Go to eBay. Go to eBay if you can. And type in Future Looks Bright. This is absolutely wild. So if you go to eBay, Vinny, have you seen this lately? Future Looks Bright. Look what's there.
$400.
These numbered hats end up, but watch this, $800 for one of them. Keep going. Okay, keep going. $249.
Last one. That means you already sold one.
Listen to this. Let it go lower. Watch what happens here with the rest of them. Okay, keep going. It's becoming a marketplace on eBay on some of these guys. Some of them, the super fans buy, they wear it. I absolutely love it. You're going to see me on Jesse Waters tonight.
$10,000? Are you serious?
But I mean, that's how numbered stuff goes. He's got the 1 out of 250, though. So if you go lower, tonight when I'm on Jesse, by the way, even that backpack, we sold them. It's $2,028 for a numbered backpack. There was only 100 of them. We did limited. The red ones. We'll never do it again. The other one was the Future Looks Bright, the white and the gold, $3,000. Anyways, gang, if you believe the future looks bright, we want 1 million people wearing this gear, sporting it all over the place with the Valuetainment brand. Go to vtmerch.com, place the order. And those of you guys that are in the PBD Podcast Circle, you were told about this before anybody else, as well as the PBD Entrepreneur Circle. If you join the circle, you get these merch drops before anybody else. If you enjoyed this video, you want to watch more videos like this, click here. And if you want to watch the entire podcast, click here.